Hey everybody, it's day 5. We made it to the end and I'm kind of sad. I've been commenting on all your posts in the on the chat about like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is over. It's brought me clarity. Are you gonna do another one? And we're gonna talk about all of that. So let's just start with celebrating the fact that I'm back in my office because the neighbor noise has settled down. And I wanna get right into it today because I wanna talk about, hey Angela, I wanna talk a little bit about how to take everything that we've done and like what do you do with it next, like what are your next steps. So I hope that, hey Holly, I hope that you guys had a good time, hey Steph, putting everything into your crest. And again, it doesn't have to be beautiful. Minu shared on the challenge post for the day, she just wrote hers out, and like that's just so empowering to actually just sit down and just write it out. Like you don't even have to make anything beautiful with it. And I have another one of my short little tip videos where I just tell people like draw a circle, throw it all in a circle, and then whatever doesn't fit that circle, like the answer is no. So it doesn't have to be like totally gorgeous and all this sort of stuff. I'm just excited to see what you guys say. All right, Steph, Valerie, Stacy, so let's just talk about how to take all of this and like, how do you like put it into an action plan? How do you take all this and actually make it real? Hey, Laura. So on page 8 of your workbook, and your workbook is in your email, of course, if you have not downloaded it yet, how many of you do like a quarterly action plan? Just say yes. Or if you don't, tell me, do you do like an annual action plan? Do you do quarterly goals? Do you do weekly goals? Do you do monthly goals? And if the answer is none of those things, I'm not talking about for your team. I'm not talking about what your boss makes you do. I'm not talking about the dog and pony horse show, like, you know, shows that you have to do for corporate America where you bring your PowerPoint slides. I'm talking about you. Like, what do you do? And what sort of plans do you set for like your own personal goals? So I learned to do mine quarterly, which is something that, to be honest, I had never really done. So maybe like on my birthday was always kind of like a natural trigger for me to say, okay, you know, by this time next year, where do I want to be? You know, what I want to do in the next year. Or maybe like on New Year's Day, you know, we all do the New Year's stuff. So hey, Janelle, hey, Minu. But I would love to see you guys get intentional about doing this quarterly. And that's exactly what I have in here. So what I have, and I have it all on, I have a bulletin board that's just right to the left of me. And my to my left, it's got my values, it's got my quarterly plan, it's got my word of the year, which is align. That's shown up different than I thought it would in the sense that everything that didn't align has gone away. My calendar, some, you know, all that sort of stuff. So Stephanie, as a family, we do annually with a summer check-in. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, and guys, I know Stephanie and her family is like the absolute cutest. And like, that is so representative of your family because, you know, like I see you guys living in that sort of alignment. Whatever your goals in, like we talked about yesterday, you just know. You just know. So Holly, I do a mandated one for work. Okay, haven't we all? Guilty. Depends. I have a long term that I do every year, but I also do monthly. Do I also stick with it? Nope. You know what? And that's okay. Because I think the big thing, right, when we all set goals and we realize we haven't been sticking with it, and I look up at my quarterly board and I'm like, ugh. Like I could approach that one of two ways. My inner critic could show up and I could get really down on myself, or I could say, okay, good to know. I noticed that I haven't been following my goals. What can I do to get back on track? Like that's obviously a lot more compassionate and more helpful way to get back on track. So what I have created for you guys, and again, this is just a template. You can make it as gorgeous as you want. Mine goes up on my bulletin board. What are my true voice values? So hopefully this week you've gotten some clear clues as to what your values are. What does it mean to show up in your true voice? Like, what are your 3 words? Like, how do you want to feel? You know, what does that look like for you? I have a place where you can write down your confidence mantra, and it doesn't just have to be one thing. Like I have mine. So my confidence mantra, I have a theme. I picked a theme, is to make a room where it happens. Because if you guys know, I love Hamilton, and that's my favorite song, Make a Room Where It Happens. But it's also about my theme, which is I coach women leaders to get into the room where decisions are made. And one of the ways we can do that is by me creating a room for you all where it happens, where we can explore these sorts of things. So like this Amplified Challenge has been a room where it happens. And so that's my theme. And being intentional. So what are 3 to 5 opportunities that you will create to speak your truth? Not like, what are you going to wait on? What are you going to hope that your boss is going to give you? What are you going to hope is going to land in your lap, or what strategy is going to happen? But what are 3 to 5 opportunities that you will create to advocate for something that's in your little confidence crest, to advocate your truth, advocate a cause that you feel passionate about, or to show up in the way that you know feels aligned with your true voice? And this is my favorite question, because this is the one that we don't like, which is, what discomfort will I accommodate to make progress on my goals or speak my voice? And Minu says, consistency and discipline is something I'm still learning. I think I'm the queen of goal making, and sticking with it is hard to do. I know. I that's all I can say is I know. And one of the things that's helped me tremendously is having it visual. So I literally see it every day when I come in, and setting time on my calendar. Like I literally have appointments on my calendar that says, check your goal board, rewrite your goals for the next quarter. I have some virtual coworkers, because, you know, since I run my own business, I don't have coworkers, but we all talk, we're all entrepreneurs. And like, I'm like, okay, guys, I got to do this thing, and you're checking in with me. Like those sort of things help me. So what discomfort will you accommodate to make progress on your goals? Remember, guys, that stretching outside your comfort zone will be uncomfortable. You will feel imposter syndrome. It will feel scary. And I think sometimes a big myth of confidence is that we should always feel confident and I'll do it when it feels easy. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. And so getting really clear to say, you know what, I am going to get comfortable feeling that I might feel like an imposter, that, you know what, I might have a lot of doubt as I articulate my voice. For me, one of my biggest inner critic lies is people are going to think this is stupid. Like, and I just write that down. You know what? I'm going to have to move through this thought that, you know, or this doubt that people might think it's stupid. And I just prepare myself for it. And I use all of the tools that I gave you guys this week with future self journaling and all of that. So Holly, you said your word was ease. Ooh, that's good. Hey, Ashley. Energetic boundaries I will set. So you guys can probably see on the last page of your workbook that I have a whole coaching framework that I pull my clients through. And we talked about a lot of this. We talked mostly about insight this week. Like, we're working on who are you? What are your true skills and talents, your true voice? Why have you been put on this earth? We're going to talk a lot about your mindset and making sure that your thoughts are carrying you in the direction you want to go and they're not expensive for you in your career. We talk a lot about how we're going to get there, but all this work is only as good as the boundaries that you set for yourself. You can have all the goals in the world, all the goals. You can have a great mindset. You can be taking action. And if you don't have the right boundaries in your life, and boundaries can come in many forms. So I talk about like energetic boundaries. Do I have energy vampires in my life? What am I doing to not let them trigger me? What am I doing to lessen their presence in my life? Energetic boundaries can come in the form of what sort of social media am I consuming? What am I reading? What am I watching? If it makes you feel like shit, stop doing it. Like, put that person on mute for a while. Don't watch that channel for a while. I have to take Twitter breaks because I don't use Twitter for work. I use Twitter for enjoyment. I have to break up with Twitter sometimes because I get all in it. Hey, Amanda. So what energetic boundaries will you set? What are you going to say no to that's out of alignment of the work we did yesterday, out of your confidence crest, you know, your symbol of who you are? If it doesn't align with where you want to go, if it's not in alignment with you, how are you saying no? And small, brave steps. I love this because it's just, what is the smallest, bravest thing that I can do to act in alignment of where I want to go? And guys, my small, brave steps are usually little things like send an email to this person and ask if they'll put me on their presentation calendar. Like asks are hard. They're so scary for me for some reason. But so my small, brave steps are usually like asking for something, creating something new, offering a new type of learning or development program for women leaders. And sometimes small, brave steps can just be, I'm going to set a date with myself and I'm going to clear out my social media and remove just like negativity. That can be a small, brave step. So we got Amanda on here, Colleen. Hello, ladies. So I'm going to answer one question that I did get, and I would love for you guys, what questions do you have? Like, I am like just so grateful that you guys chose to spend a week with me, whether you watched live or you watched on replay, or you took the time and energy to sign up and drop your email. Like, that does not go unnoticed. Your time is so precious. It's part of your energetic boundary. It's, you're choosing what you allow into your life, and just that you allowed me into your life, I don't take that for granted because I know that's deeply important. So I'm going to read a question, and if you guys have questions, I want you to just type them in the comments. So the question that I got was, sometimes I don't question my confidence so much as I get all caught up in wondering, am I bringing value? Am I bringing enough value? This obsession with providing value in the workplace is where I find myself questioning myself. So one of the things I want you guys to realize is that is just a thought. Am I bringing enough value? And we have to go all the way back to like prehistoric society to know that like we all have like a mammal brain, like a lizard brain. It's a fear center, and it's basically just called our ego. And egos, well, they exist to keep us safe. Well, back in the old days, like our ego would flare up because it would like alert us of danger, right? Saber-toothed tigers. Well, now it doesn't know that, the things that we fear at work and the things that get us all riled up at work aren't a saber-toothed tiger. Like, we don't need to go into a total fear response. So it shows up sometimes in the way of an inner critic or just incessant like negative thoughts. And remember, there's, some psychological frameworks around there will always be triggers. And those triggers that we have in our lives will always immediately activate our thought system, our messages. Am I providing enough value? Am I providing enough value? And when we think that and we choose to believe that thought, we start to feel a certain way. So my hunch is that, her name's Erica, it's on the Facebook group, so we can make it public. It probably makes her feel doubtful, as she said, maybe a little anxious. So when I'm bringing doubtful and anxious energy into my interaction, what type of results am I creating? Probably not the type of results that I want. So I don't want to fight with this thought. I don't want to try to prove whether it's true or not. The thing is, I want you guys to realize is we are always thinking thoughts. Like if you've ever watched the CNN or whatever news channel you watch, ticker just go at the bottom of the screen, that's our thoughts. We have thoughts. We think over 50,000 thoughts a day. 50,000 thoughts a day, and the ticker just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And there is research that shows that 85% of those thoughts are negative. Now, that's actually not the problem. The problem only comes in when we choose to fuse with those thoughts. So just notice, am I letting these negative thoughts go by, or am I choosing to fuse? So here's a trick, okay? So the first thing is I want you to just notice. So you've gotten step one down already. You notice. You're like, dang. Like I keep having this thought, am I providing value? But I want you to back up a little bit. Is there a trigger that often triggers that thought? And maybe it's a trigger of like some old boss or some stupid old teacher in your life, or somebody talked to you about somewhere about providing value, okay? is that really true? Is there any evidence that that's true? Or is that the lens of someone else? So anyways, notice what your triggers are. So once you notice it, I want you to name it. Oh, there it is again. There's my I'm not providing value thought, okay? So once you notice it, and then name it. Because naming it just kind of allows you to go, oh, there it is. It's going by again. It's going by again. It allows me to notice it without choosing to fuse with it. And then just neutralize it. You know what? It's normal in stressful situations like this to wonder if I'm adding value. That's just normal. It is normal. All the time. All the time. And I'm sure all of you could maybe comment on here. Have you guys ever wondered, like Erica, am I providing value? Or I have a hunch it's not just Erica, because I know it's been me too. But so notice it. Oh, there it is. Name it. Yep, there's that I'm not providing value thought again. Just normalize it. You know what? It's normal in times like now. I'm doing something that's new for me. I'm stretching outside of my comfort zone. I'm allowing some discomfort. It's normal to feel thoughts like, you know, am I providing value? And just remember that there's a purpose for that thought, right? We all have an ego. We're not going to get rid of it. And you know what? That thought's purpose is just to keep me safe. How could it actually be helping me? It's just keeping me safe. So when I started my business, my big thought was, because I went from a corporate America, very secure salary and benefits, to nothing. So my big fear was that I was going to be a freeloader, and I would have this thought all the time. Oh my God, you're a freeloader. You're a freeloader. You shouldn't be a freeloader. So Chris says, yes, I started to ask that in the last 6 months of my role. Yes, it's normal. It's normal. And it's just fear and just, hey, I'm noticing I'm having the thought that I wonder if I'm providing value. So my big thing was, and it just would cripple me. My creativity would drop, all of it. And so I had to use the tools that I use to coach my clients, which is just to notice it. Oh, there it is again. There is my freeloader thought. And I noticed it and I would name it and I would normalize it. You know what? I bet it's pretty normal that for people who leave corporate America and go out on their own might wonder, you know, am I being a freeloader? So Holly says, yeah, neutralize and normalize your triggers. I'm always trying to eliminate. You will never eliminate your triggers. And I want you to find the freedom in that. You will always have triggers, only everywhere you go. Your freedom comes from not responding to the triggers. And Stacy, yeah, your trigger is, am I a burden, right? So one of the things that you can do to help like defuse your thoughts, to separate them so you don't fuse with them and become that thought, is even just to put it to a tune. So to help me diffuse from my freeloader thought, and so Erica, maybe you can choose your favorite song, but all I could think of was Tom Petty's song, Free Fallin'. So every time I got all stressed out, and I still do this, and I think, oh my God, I'm a freeloader, I would just start singing the song Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, but I would use the word, I'm a freeloader. And I would just sit there and work, and I'd sing the song, and you guys might think that's so hokey, but honestly, what it does is it's like, I am not my thoughts. It's just something that's the CNN ticker. I'm neutralizing it. This is normal. And we're going to keep going about our day, because me choosing to fuse with that thought is not helping me go in the direction I want to go. And Erica, a little ego buster for you. On the live yesterday, you had so many ideas to help all of us create our confidence crest. I'm just gonna go ahead and make the intuitive leap that you provided value 3 times to us just yesterday in a 30-minute live. So I have a hunch that you probably provide a tremendous amount of value only everywhere you go. So just a little hint for you. So guys, I hope this was helpful, and I don't want this to end. So I've already talked to 2 of you about this program already, and it sounds like 2 of you are in, and I know a 3rd person is gonna do it, but twice a year I offer my Clarity and Confidence Leadership Masterclass. It used to be called the Rise Confidently Leadership Masterclass. So same thing, a few updates. It is, I offer it every March and September, but this September, it starts on September 17th and it goes through October 29th. It's every Thursday from noon to 1:15 p.m. Central Time. And if you loved the topics this week, it is a 7-week deep dive into discovering your true voice, your authentic leadership brand, elevating your confidence and results, how to outsmart the fears that hold you back. I mean, we dive into like my true core coaching tools in this 7 weeks to help you do a lot of the things that I described kind of in my coaching framework. And with that 7 weeks, we meet every Thursday live. I teach a little bit. I teach a concept like this for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then you're in this group live with all these other women, and they will also help you. So it's like part teaching, part mastermind. And so like, I know the one we ran in March, we were all shifting to work from home at that time. And so here these women had this group of other women in the room where it happens, helping them move through and help them on their goals. So in that 7 weeks, you also get, depending on the level that you choose, you get at least one-to-one coaching session with me. And in that, you and I are working on your specific goals. So Minu, you says, mine is always the fear of perception. Now I remind myself that I'm only trying to add value to the bigger cause. And I can't read the rest of it here. But yes, we all have our own little fears, and those are things that we work through in those 7 weeks. And you know, our personalities, our life experience, and Minu says, I've been in her Rise Confidently. Kelly really gave a lot of thoughts, which I still use today. Really helpful. I know. Minu was in my very, very first 7-week masterclass. And oh, I know. I love this experience. It's so fun. The women that are in there are brilliant and smart, and it's full of energy. And I was so lucky to have her. And I think I learned a lot from Minu as well. So thank you, Minu. And so if this is something that you're interested in, I'm going to drop the link, and I'll also send it out via email. And if you sign up by August 7th, I have an early bird bonus in there because we don't start till September. So if you sign up by August 7th, you're going to get my free masterclass plus the workbook. And it's called Get Your Ask in Gear. Because I know I just outed you, right? I told you that my small brave steps are always asks. So it is a whole class about asking for what you need, asking for what you want, and asking for what you deserve. And so that bonus masterclass you'll get if you guys sign up for the Clarity and Confidence Leadership Masterclass by August 7th. And it'll be a pre-recorded webinar. You can watch it anytime you want. It'll come with worksheets and scripts so that you have some things that you can ask for. So if you guys have questions on that, I would love to talk to you about them. You can email me at kellyraythompson@gmail.com. You can message me on social media. I'll drop the link. But it's 7 weeks. You get one-on-one with me. You're going to be in a room with amazing women, and the cost is $397, and I do offer payments. So let's